Okay, let's see, bright light. So, I hope everybody can hear me. I hope everybody can hear me well. Um, I guess I'm back because now I'm talking about where I left off at. Part two. This is part two of how I escaped the horrors of Section 8. Um, it's just so unbelievable. It's so much to talk about. It's so much to take in. I think that when I stopped the first one, I was discussing like the work every time I got a job, fired for no reason. I also discussed, I think it was I moved from different places, but I never mentioned in between the moves. Like I had several addresses. I moved from 555 South 17th Street, which was my first apartment. Then I moved to 585 Elizabeth Avenue, and both of these were in Newark. Then I moved to 45 40th Street in Irvington. And then from there, I moved out of the state and I moved to Pennsylvania, um, in Bethlehem. And I think that's when everything really began to unravel for me. Because what happened was I had found out that there was something hidden behind the walls over there. And I went and reported it to Housing Authority. And I said, you know what? There's a hole at the bottom of my tub. At that, make it so bad. Um, this was like maybe in the 90s, I think, 1991 or something like that, 93, somewhere in there, in the 90s, I know. And anyway, I went to them and I told them that I had noticed that there was a hole at the bottom of my tub, and then when I looked at the ceiling, it ran. I don't know what. First of all, there was this house we rented. Okay, let me take you back. It was at 127 East Epline Street in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Okay, so when you come into the house and you go to the top stairs and you go straight, there was a room. That room was right off the bathroom. Now you have to picture this in your mind so I can explain it the way I'm trying to explain it to you. Now, behind there was a wall here, but when you walk in the room, of course the ceiling is there. Okay. Now what happens is, hold on one second. One minute. We learn something about this. I think we do, don't we? Right now, my granddaughter decides that this is too funny. My granddaughter is sleeping. So she's a little noisy. But I wanted to record this because it's getting to the point where now, even more so now, I need to start talking about this and get this out of my system because I never had any closure. Okay. So now let's talk about this bathroom. This bathroom had a hole at the bottom of the sink. It was back to the tub. And it was some sort of hole that connected to the outside hallway. But mind you, when you go through the hallway, which is a very small hallway, you wind up in this back room. And I considered the room so small, so I utilized that as like a computer room or so. So since it was a computer room, on the side, there was a bulkiness about it because this is like all paneling. And it was really bulky. It was like wall was straight, and when it got to a certain point, it curved outward, and then it went straight some more. So what is this? So I still didn't want to go and just ruin the man's house because I'm renting from him, but I was curious about this bulge. Anyway, I just went over there and I kind of like lift the panel up a little bit, and I was able to see so many cords were connected back there. They were connected to each other, and I was like, "What in the world is all this?" Now that same week, it rained. And when it rained, I had a leak in my ceiling. So when I had the leak in my ceiling, I was like, wait a second, what in the world is this? The ceiling fell. And when it fell down, you wouldn't believe what I saw. There was cords running. It looked like it was extension cord up there, and the cords was running in different diagonal directions. So while one was running across this way, and it looked like it was going in the direction of what was behind the wall that I seen over here, and it went the other direction, was right behind the bathroom. So I said, something is wrong here. So I went, like I said, to Housing Authority and let them know that there was some cords running in the house, and I'm paying for bills and carrying on. I'm paying for bills running, and I don't even know what this stuff is running for. Okay, so I go ahead to the office and I report it, and they're like, "Did you tell anybody?" Well, I'm telling you. I'm telling this to the inspector. Okay. So after the inspector said that to me, I assumed right off the bat that he was going to, I don't know, maybe get another supervisor or somebody out there to come and look at all these wires and why these wires is running. They never came out. They never came out. That was the first red flag for me. Now, I still couldn't figure out, since they never came out, what was behind this wall. What was the problem? So I decided, you know what, y'all, from now on, we ain't taking no more baths because I feel really uncomfortable about this. Then I said to myself, you know what? I sat and I prayed, God, this is nice. It's not sitting with me. So I said, I asked God one question. I got on my knees and I prayed to God and I asked him one question. And I said to him, God, how is it possible for Section 8 to pay everybody's rent? How is it possible for them to pay everybody's rent? Now, he said, Olivia, it's a pornography scandal. I had to take a deep breath on that one. I had to take a deep breath on that one because when he said it to me, the first thing came to my mind was like, God, you lying. How stupid am I to tell God he's lying? God is lying? Really? Well, so God got lion eyes? How stupid am I? So I decided I'm going to start and launch my own investigation because I wanted to figure out what's these cords for one thing. If it is a pornography scandal, how is it operated? How is it maneuvering? How is it being produced? And where is it going? How fast is it getting moving? I mean, I had so many questions. And they were zooming through my head, and I had nobody I could ask these questions. And who was going to tell me, oh, yeah, we're running a pornography scandal? Nobody's not going to tell me that. So I launched this investigation. The first thing I did was, first, like I said, I told the girls not to bathe anymore. And I closed that curtain, and decided not to let them bathe anymore because I remember the hole there. But not thinking, all I had to do was plug the hole up. But at the same time, I didn't know whether if anybody had done seen my girls or myself bathing through this hole. And we can't see it was a camera in there in the first place. But I knew there had to be some sort of photogenic activity. Okay. So I decided to trap them. I mean, I tried to find something that was so disgusting to make you think like, ew, that's disgusting. Because the minute I see that on somebody's face, then I know they saw it. I got you. Okay. So I pretended like I was eating my own feces. Yes. I pretended like I ate my own feces. And when I did that, I hurried up and jumped in my car and I ran straight down to this area. It's called Stefco Boulevard. Stefco Boulevard in Bethlehem. Now, Stefco Boulevard had this, it's a pretty wide street, and uh, um, it ran right like in a longitudinal type way. And it had most of the stores where you would shop at is here. And of course, there was a liquor store. So after I did my little deed, I ran down there in the liquor store and I marched across the liquor store door. I wanted to see what men would come out of there. I wanted to see if a man actually thought I ate feces. What is his reaction? See, I need to see the reaction because the reaction tells me how fast you're actually seeing this. And that means production is rolling quick. I mean, you would see it fast as lightning. So my intuition tells me that when I go and do this and go down here, I'm going to more than likely find out exactly what they were doing. And what happened? I went down there and I paced in front of the liquor store, back and forth and back and forth. I only did this for no more than 10 minutes. Not even 10 minutes went by. A guy came out the store and was like, I was like, oh my God, I got you. I got you. So that means you saw me do that in the bathroom in the house in which I'm renting Section 8. And if you saw that, that was only a couple of seconds ago. Another guy came by here. I'm like, hey, babe, how you doing, ma'am? Get away from me. Just get your scraggly tail away from me. Because I knew he also saw it. So now it goes to even more investigating. Because I need to know what else is going on in this house that I'm renting. So, when I realized that, I gave my 30 days notice, told him I'm moving out and I'm heading back to Georgia. I'll call my brother, listen, can you come get me? I got to get up out of here. This is not for me and my girls no more. We need to move ASAP, and I mean out of the state. Now, by this time, the landlord used to be so cheap. Everybody I talked to said he was the cheapest landlord ever. And he would always say stuff like, oh, well, you're using too much water. He paid a portion of it, but I paid majority of it. So what you worry about how much water I use? I got 5 of us living here. Really? It was times I had to mow my lawn or maybe shovel snow. And I'd get guys and hire them to do it. And they'd be like, oh, that's your landlord? He's the cheapest man ever. Well, how about this very cheap landlord that went on like 5 vacations? This is the cheapest landlord ever. He went on 5 vacations since I moved into your house, which couldn't have been no more than, I don't know, maybe 3 years, maybe 4, not even 4 years. But he was going on vacations in 1 year, like 3 and 4 a year. So I said, whoa, man, he's a big spender all of a sudden because everybody else telling me how cheap he was. So after I gave my 30 days notice, because I found all that information out before I gave my 30 days notice. Now, when I gave the 30 days notice, the first thing he started telling me is that, I want you to come to my house for dinner. I'd like to talk to you. Really? I just gave you my 30 days notice. Why do I want to come to your house for dinner? He was telling me to bring my kids over there and everything. Why on this good God's earth would I want to do that? I am leaving. Don't you get it? He made me swear that I'm going to come. You sure you're going to be there? Because, you really need to come. My wife is making dinner. You can bring your family. You can bring your kids. Really? And the first thing came to mind was, why? Whenever you decide that you have an apartment, it don't even matter. It don't have to be a Section 8, just an apartment, period. And you want to vacate them premises. You're not going to be talking about having dinner with the landlord, especially when he's complaining about how much water you use, or, maybe he probably wanted me out, but then he was having all those vacations. And I wonder why. How was it possible for him to have all those vacations? Okay. So I began to pack my stuff up. I told him, yeah, I'll be around there. I'll come. All right, I'll be there. You knew I didn't come, right? I wasn't coming to this house for no dinner. For what? As far as I know, you probably been trying to poison me. This is your house. I'm finding cords and wires running all in the house and carrying on. And you want me to come to your house for dinner when I'm telling you I'm moving? I'm done. Call my brother up. We heard it packed up and jetted. Okay. When I left, this man threw the book at me. He kept my security, and I cleaned the house from head to toe, took pictures and everything. The only thing that was on the wall was little pictures that the kids had done taped or glued some pictures up there, and it was like just paper. And it wasn't enough to say, you can keep my $600. But back then, my rent wasn't that high. But he dogged me. His name is Albert Reitbauer. Yeah, they called him Blackie. Okay? I'm putting it out there because I am blasting everybody. After what I've been through, after what was taken from me, I'm putting everybody in blast. His name is Albert Reitbauer. Reitbauer. Yes. He was famous for writing letters. Every time I turned around, he was sending me a letter. I am so done. So, okay, I head back to Jersey. I move with my brother on 190 Vermont. Okay, I'm Vermont Avenue. So, okay, I'm waiting for my Section 8 to be transferred back to North. When I get my Section 8 papers, that's when I get the 104 Brookdale. Oh, Lord, here it comes. 104 Brookdale was a very nice apartment. But back then, they were known for a lot of gang activity and a lot of shooting going on that block. Where I was on the corner of it. My brother said, "No, you don't want to move around there." I said, "You know what's funny? God is telling me to move there." And I did. And I had no problems. So after I moved there, the summer of 2006, I guess it got wind because of my investigations. So I started I really started digging because I just felt uncomfortable, really uncomfortable, because I just couldn't figure out what was going on, why I couldn't keep a job. Now they got wires in Pennsylvania. Oh my God, they terrible in Pennsylvania. Horrible. That's what I thought. And so, okay, I moved to 104 Brookdale, and I know it got wind that I'm investigating Housing Authority. So a lot of guys around here, they was cursing me out. They was cursing me out. They was calling me all kind of bees. Do I want to suck their thing? Calling me hoes. Disrespecting me. Oh my God, so bad. I cried. I cried so much. I must have cried. My eyes, I cried so much. I couldn't even breathe. I cried so much I had to keep drinking water because I had so much tear flowing from my body. The summer of 2006, I forget what year we actually literally lived there because I think it was no more than about a year anyway. But the summer of 2006, the landlord um, had an agreement with me. I forgot his name, but he was a foreign. I know he was a foreign landlord. He says to me that he said I'm responsible for keeping the yard together because he didn't have a tenant upstairs at the time. So I was the only one living in the building. It was like a 2-family house, but it was beautiful. So by me being on the first floor, all of the windows had bars on them and stuff. Talking about feeling like you're in jail. Okay. So I used to let my daughter, she was 12 years old, I used to let her go outside in the backyard. And if she would go outside in the backyard to play and stuff like that, okay. So I asked the neighbors next door, sons, if they could come over and mow my lawn. So they mowed the lawn and they did an excellent job. So Jazzy asked me, could she go out there? 12 years old now. Listen to this. I let her go outside. She's playing outside with her friend. Now I'm in my room. My room has the window to where they are. So I could look out there and I could see them. In addition to that, my computer was right there by the window. And my window was open so I could hear them saying, let me see. No, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. What y'all talking about? Let you see what? I got up there. What y'all talking about? Come here. What y'all wanting to see over there? They pull out a big long, well, not that long. No, it's a shotgun. It was a shotgun. Now, I just mowed the lawn. There's no way a shotgun would have been over there because they mowed it yesterday. So the shotgun would have been spotted yesterday. So they had to put that shotgun in my backyard either the night before or earlier that day. It still didn't dawn on me that was the attempt to kill my daughter. 12 years old. You going after my kids. 12 years old. Really? Now, they tussling, her and her friend. They saying, let me see, let me see. And I see them pulling back and forth like this. What are y'all doing? So when I came out, whoa, where y'all get that from? Mommy, we found it over there. We found it over there. Let me tell you something. I want you to lay that down right there. Lay it right there. Okay? I'm about to call the cops. Now, at this time, Booker he was in the office as the mayor. And they was doing this thing called buy back guns. And it was, if you return a gun, they was paying people. When I called them for this gun, I called the cops. They didn't give me a letter. They didn't give me no kind of statement or they took my statement, I believe. But I didn't get anything in writing that they came to pick the gun up. In addition to that, when they came out, they was like, whoa, it was a gun in a chamber. So I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, it looked like a Daniel Boone. Like it was joking, like that's an old Daniel Boone gun. I'm saying all this. And the whole time, um, it was a shotgun, but it looked like the tip was sawed off. So it was still long. It wasn't like a handgun, but it was long. So okay. Next thing I know, they came and picked it up, didn't say anything, didn't give me no slip. I'm like, okay, I can cash it and I can get me some money for this gun. They didn't want to give me anything. Okay, fine. I don't care. Just get that out of here because I don't want my kids playing with this. Okay. First of all, I don't even know who put it back there. And in addition to that, me and the gang guys had got a little cool. So I started talking to them. Times I would cook. I cook my dinners and stuff. They smell it. Could I have a burger and blah, blah, blah. So I kind of got to know them a little bit. It even got to the point they started even looking after my kids. But the bottom line I'm trying to say is that I went to them and they said, I'm telling you, man, Miss Olivia, that's not ours. We don't carry guns like that. I said, listen, I'm about to call the cop job to come get this thing. He was like, that's not ours. I had to put it together. So I'm like, oh my God. These jokers, they followed me from Pennsylvania. You're trying to murder my 12-year-old. Now, mind you, Chanel still stayed in Pennsylvania because she was up there staying with some friends. When I came back, Chanel couldn't understand it. She's like, Mommy, I don't understand. Why would you move in the heart of all this kind of chaos? With the drugs, with the gangs, with the shootings and the killings, because people was getting killed almost every other day around here. I just didn't want to tell her. I just didn't want to tell her why I moved. But she just kept, every week she'd come down. Mommy, tell me why you moved. Why you just came down here? Look at all this. Look around. Chanel, just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Because I just kept trying to leave it alone. Just let it go. She came down next week. Mommy, tell me why you moved down here. Something is bugging me. What is bugging you? What? I just need to know. I just need to know. I just need to know. And I kept saying, what is it that you need to know, Chanel? Because bottom line is, if you really think about it, I just didn't want to tell her. She came down like probably about the 5th or 6th time. And I just got so tired of her asking me why I moved. So I finally said, okay, let's go outside. So I took her outside across the street from where I lived. And I started telling her about what happened. I said, we was in Bethlehem. I seen some cords running. I reported the house and they didn't want to come out and do anything. I set them up, pretended like I was eating feces just to see how fast is the production going and who's seeing it or how things is moving so quickly. And she was like, Mom, really? I said, look, I'm investigating now. I got to figure out what's going on because I want to get off this. I've had too many problems with this. For years, I couldn't get off and I couldn't understand why I couldn't get off Section 8. I said, so I'm investigating them. I done found out some information. I think they followed me down here. Or maybe they done told Housing Authority down here what I done discovered. So now they down here watching me and then try to set my daughter up to be murdered at 16. At 12. Okay. So when I told her about the pornography scandal, I said, God told me there's a pornography scandal they got going on. I said, I don't know how. I need to figure out where these cameras are and what's going on. Are they on some kind of TV? Is it a video that they're doing? I don't know. I said, when you talk to me, you cannot talk to me over the phone. Try to use my cell because I don't know. For some reason, I just thought the cell would be more comfortable to speak freely. And I guess she was so excited. But when she got back, I don't know if she asked people around, maybe she knew some dudes, whatever. But she called me on the phone. She called me and she said, Mommy, I found it. I was like, baby, what you mean? You found what? She said, I found I found the cameras. What cameras? I said, didn't I tell you don't call me on the phone? And she made a mistake and called me on the house phone. Now by this time, By this time, the uh, uh, um, here it is. This is Verizon. Now, by the time she told me that, Verizon had told me that they was going to turn off my phone. And then they decided that my bill got $172. They was going to turn it off, but they never did. And they kept it on. So I'm thinking they're going to turn it off, and they never did. So I said, okay, well, I got to go find a job again, and I need a phone, but it just so happens I had a cell phone too. So I said, okay, well, if they turn it off, I got a cell phone. I use the cell phone for employment. But for some apparent reason, when the bill got to $172, the bill disappeared. And I couldn't figure out where it disappeared to. So next thing I know, I'm like, wait a second. The phone is not off. It's still on. And this, mind you, it's like a couple of months later. Why is this phone still on? Now here it is. I got this information. I don't know if you could see it. You probably can't. Maybe you could. I don't know. But the first one is here for 172, right? And then the second one is here for 125. So the point I was showing you right here is that these bills, when I was looking for them, because when they left it on the second time, and when I received the bills, 125, and I'm saying, okay, they still ain't turned this bill off. Like, what's the problem? Now, mind you, also, I didn't even point out the time, the dates. Look at the date. Like, for instance, this one on the 25th, the 125 shows they saying they opened in November and then closed in November. And the one that was 172, they saying they opened in July and closed in July. Now, this all happened in 2007. Okay? Now, being that she called on the phone one of these lines that was still active because they never turned it off. And that's what she said to me, to tell me that she found the cameras and they were in the smoke detectors. I said, no, no, stop playing with me. Yes, she said, Mommy, they in the smoke detectors. So what happened was I took, there we go. Okay. One was in my bedroom, one was in my girl's bedroom, and one was in my living room. I mean, they want to make sure they see every step you take. They want to see every move you make. They want to know everything you do, who you talk to, how long you talk to them. Because mind you now, when they had my phone bill, that they allowed me to keep the bill for those 2 months, or matter of fact, that was from July to November. So July, August, September, October, November. So that was like 4 months, right? Now, after she called and told me on this line that she made the discovery of the cameras in the smoke detector, my daughter was murdered. That's what they did, huh? You know what? After they did that to her, they killed her. And the more I think about this, they didn't kill her because she did something to them. Matter of fact, they ain't nothing but cowards because they went after my children. So that's what made me think about Jazzy. Like they went to kill her first at 12 years old. And when they didn't kill her, they went after my oldest. Wait, it's more. After they murdered my daughter. Look at this, y'all. Look at this. This is right here. They put me on the front cover of the newspaper. That was like a slap in the face. It's bad enough y'all was cowards. and you went after my youngest. And when you couldn't get her, you went after my oldest daughter. And you know what? The worst part, I'm gonna tell you. The worst part about this is that they went and did all this because I wanted to work for a living. I wanted a job. I wanted to earn my own money. It's more. So let me end this like. I mean, when you think about it, these people ain't but cowards. So when people saw that I was out fighting against them, I had me coming up. Look, turn around. They were like, "Hi, how you doing?" They was happy that I was fighting them. And I had some men was trying to hurt me. I had to watch them. But they ain't do no harm because I know God got them. But can you imagine somebody attacking your kids? Defenseless. They're innocent. And if you wanted to get somebody, why don't fight me? When I wanted to just forget about it, they put it behind me. You know what they kept doing? Kept following me. Everywhere I went, they just kept following me. I gotta go. Wait, I'm come back. I'll come back and I'll do another video. But right now, I gotta go. It's so much more to tell. But this for my family. Because my family need to know why I'm sick. It's more to tell y'all about this. Because y'all need to know. And if anything happened to me, you know, I love me. But if anything do happen to me, it's because it's God's will. But it was God who opened my eyes. My eyes is no longer wide shut. I am just so broke about that. Who do you go to get help? To help you? Who do you go and you want to report who they are? What kind of people these are? When people knew I was fighting them, I'm telling you, information was coming to me from different directions. And kill her because I wanted to get off Section 8. Because I wanted to get off Section 8. So technically, I was a part of human trafficking. Okay, I gotta go. I'm gonna I got more to share with y'all. But this is for my family, because my family need to know. You've been following me like crazy. We'll talk. I got more to share with y'all. There's so much more to share. And then the shooting wasn't just a gangland hit. They want everybody to think it was a gangland hit. It was not. It was more to it. It's more. It was more to it than that. All because I wanted to work.